Dark Skies. Dark Skies is a 2013 science fiction horror thriller film written and directed by Scott Stewart, and starring Kerry Russell among others. Plot. The Barrett family consists of Daniel and Lacey, married couple, and their sons, Jesse and Sammy. Daniel has been out of work for 3 months, which has strained his relationship with Lacey. During the night, the children have a habit of communicating with each other from their beds via walkie-talkie, where Jesse, the eldest, tells him scary stories about the Sandman in order to distract him from his parents' arguments. One day, Lacey discovers food scattered on the kitchen floor and other objects arranged in a specific order. Sammy tells her that the Sandman did it before reaching her room. Daniel and Lacey clean up the mess but become increasingly concerned as the incidents become more frequent. Soon, the family members realize they've lost their time. One night, Lacey is awakened by Sammy after witnessing a humanoid figure standing on her bed. When she turns on the light in her room, it's empty, and they find the boy in the yard. But some events are out of control. The first is that Sammy starts screaming for no reason, staring off into the park. Obviously, all of this raises suspicions of abuse. Another unfortunate and very strange event was that Lacey was with some clients at a house showing, when she transformed just as she was about to convince a couple to buy the house. She suddenly stopped talking, no longer responded, and finally went to the window and started banging her head. The couple got scared and called the office to report the incident and also to let them know that they would be going with the competition. It is obvious that Lacey was fired, although she received an award from her husband later. Bad news doesn't always bring bad times. Her husband celebrated with her that she had gotten a job, which made her happy again. Daniel installs security cameras around the house. Lacey begins searching the internet for answers and finds articles about aliens. She learns that other children had drawn pictures that were strikingly similar to the beings Sammy had drawn of a child with 3 tall gray figures. Daniel rejects the theory, insisting there is a more rational explanation. Daniel also had his own strange episode. He lost his mind and began acting strangely, only to regain consciousness and not remember anything he did, but Lacey witnessed it all. The couple sought help from a specialist, Edwin Pollard, who informed them that there are 3 races of aliens: the Greys, the Insectoids, and the Reptilians. However, in many cases, they have been Greys, aliens who have traveled millions of light years away to experiment on humans by placing an implant behind their ears. Lacey ends up vomiting from all the atrocities committed by the Greys, which were told by Edwin, so she goes to the bathroom, but upon leaving, she sees a room full of photos of missing children, while Edwin tells Daniel that when all this happens, it always ends with someone missing, mostly a child, who is sometimes returned, but always disappears never to be seen again. The million-dollar question, what can be done other than waiting for this tragic ending, is practically telling him nothing, except trying to protect the family on his own, whatever it takes. Daniel suggests moving house, but Edwin says that a civilization that has traveled light years wouldn't stop because its prey moved house. So he recommends they stick together and not lose sight of Sammy, since they always take the person they first made contact with, and this time, unfortunately, it was the youngest of the family. Lacey suggests going to the police, but Daniel says that would be ridiculous, asking for protection from aliens, so they were alone. Daniel buys a shotgun and boards up the house's windows and doors, while Lacey buys an aggressive guard dog. The family spends Independence Day watching fireworks on television. The broadcast cuts out and appears staticky, all the lights begin to flicker, and the dog begins barking viciously at the locked door. The family tries to take refuge in the master bedroom, but Lacey sees the Greys positioning themselves around them. The reason they bought a dog is because Edwin told them that dogs detect them, and that they also bark excessively when they see them or when they detect them. He also says that cats don't do anything at all, they seem to ignore each other. Then the strategy they had warned them about and that they had to avoid occurs: the Greys separate the limbs of the person they will take, to make it easier to take him. The parents separated from their children, and left Sammy in Jesse's care. But Sammy moves away from Jesse and he runs after him. Then he sees his mother lying on the floor motionless and bloody, next to her his father with a shotgun in hand, immediately after he shoots himself. But he continues looking for Sammy. Finally he finds him standing at the end of the hallway surrounded by the Greys. Jesse calls him but Sammy doesn't answer. Suddenly between echoes he hears the voices of his parents and Sammy calling him. Jesse turns and sees his parents and Sammy behind him and not in front of him. He looks back in front and realizes that he is surrounded by Greys. A flash of light blinds the screen and the abduction occurs. Jesse is abducted. They took the eldest instead of the youngest of the children. 3 months later, Lacey and Daniel become suspicious of Jesse's disappearance and move into an apartment where they set up a bedroom for Jesse. While sorting through Jesse's old things, she finds pictures Jesse drew when he was younger. With great nostalgia, Lacey looks at Jesse's family drawings from when they were just 3, but suddenly a disturbing drawing appears, many drawings of tall gray figures alongside all the members of the Barrett family. Lacey realizes that these drawings are from long before Sammy's contact with the Greys, and she also has flashes of symptoms Jesse had as a child, symptoms Mr. Pollard had listed that are seen once the Greys implant is placed in a human. She remembers how the doctors didn't know what Jesse had, and then Lacey realizes it wasn't a coincidence that the Greys kidnapped Jesse and not Sammy. In fact, it was Jesse they made contact with first, only the Barrett family hadn't noticed. Suddenly, one of the children's toy walkie-talkies starts beeping. Sammy grabs the walkie-talkie and hears Jesse frantically calling his name. Comments. This is a particular point. The film really left me wondering if beings from other planets are visiting us, but they do so from the shadows. This suggests their intentions are not good. Whatever race visits us, if they do so secretly, it would be because they have dark intentions. It can't be said that they are an advance mission or an exploration mission, because they would make contact openly, not taking people away, never to return. That's all for now, goodbye.